Started then. Good afternoon. I'm Les Linebarger, Executive Director of Communications for Nacogdoches ISD. This is the agenda review meeting of the NISD Board of Trustees conducted remotely using the Zoom app because of the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. Today's open session is being recorded and will be shared afterwards on the district's YouTube account. I will now turn the meeting over to NISD Board President Pam Fitch. Ms. Fitch?
Thank you, Mr. Linebarger. Appreciate that. Good afternoon, everyone. I hereby call this agenda review meeting of the Nacogdoches ISD Board of Trustees by video conference to order. A quorum of the following board members is present. Please indicate by saying here when I call your name. Vice President James Montoya.
Here.
Secretary Mindy Winslow.
Here.
Leah Beth Apt.
Here.
Dr. Tyrell Groman.
Here.
Mr. Farshid Naramond.
Here.
And I'm going to say Pastor James Irvin. I don't see that he's connected yet. Hopefully he'll be able to join us shortly. So let the record show that he is not here at the moment. And of course, let the record show that Pam Fitch is present. Thank you all for joining us today. On March the 16th, Governor Greg Abbott granted a request by Attorney General Ken Paxton to temporarily suspend a limited number of open meetings laws to the extent necessary to allow telephone or video conference meetings in response to the coronavirus. In accordance with those suspended rules, we certify the following. Notice of this meeting has been posted online for at least 72 hours. Although members of the board are not gathered in a central physical location, we do have a quorum in attendance at the meeting by video conference. We are meeting using the Zoom software application, which allows two-way communication for members of the public. As we would at any in-person meeting, members of the public who have followed the instructions on the meeting notice for registering to speak during public comment will have that opportunity. If you would like to provide comment at a future meeting conducted by video conference or telephone, please follow instructions on the meeting notice. All other meeting procedures will adhere to board adopted procedures to the extent practical. An audio recording of this meeting is being made and will be available to the public at a later date. If you have any questions about these suspended laws, please call the Office of the Attorney General at 888-672-6787 or by email at toma@oag.texas.gov. And as a reminder for everyone joining us today, this is an agenda review meeting. No action will be taken today. This is all in preparation for our board meeting on Thursday. With that, let me flip over here. We do have one person who's wishing to address the board in public comment. The procedure was, the revised procedure was included and made part of the meeting notice, but as a reminder to everyone, there is a 3-minute time limit for each person addressing the board, and Michael Martin will help us by keeping time for us today. So now, Joanne Fuller, I'm hoping you are with us.
I am. It's Joey
Thank
Fuller
you.
is what it says on the screen, ma'am.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much, Mrs. Fuller, and you're going to be addressing us today, I understand, representing Texas AFT, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you have the floor.
Okay. Hello, President Fitch, trustees, and Dr. Trujillo. I am Joanne Fuller, a proud member of Texas AFT. I'm speaking to you on behalf of many of our members employed by NAC ISD. We speak to you not just as employees, but as parents, taxpayers, and voters. I grew up here and know almost everyone in Nacogdoches. I love this town and the wonderful children who attend our schools. We at AFT want to make sure we are doing what is best for our students, staff, and community. I want to say that we support you, Dr. Trujillo. I watched you speak along with the other superintendents on KTRE last week, and I'm very proud to have you leading our district. We are here today to tell you that we are terrified to return to face-to-face instruction. We understand that the weight of the world is on your shoulders. The teachers of AFT would like to take some of the weight off by providing you with our thoughts and ideas on ways to return to school safely. As trustees, we imagine many of you are frustrated because there are no easy or obvious solutions. Please imagine how we must feel not being a part of any conversation about possible solutions. You won't be the ones in the classroom that have to help students understand and cope with this. We are the ones that carry that burden. We beg you to bring us into the planning process. We know virtual instruction is inequitable, but this is the safest way we know. We do not want our students to miss any more on-campus time, but we want them to live and thrive. We need you to understand that we are the ones in the direct contact with our students. We will ensure that their best interests are at heart. We know the names of our students that are likely suffering from being away from school. We want to rescue them, but we cannot do this until we know we can keep them safe at school and protect all involved. Together, we'll be able to come up with a plan that best serves all of Nacogdoches. Thank you for considering our request to immediately be included in the plans we need to be making now. We know we can find a solution together, and we know they will have to be fluid and adaptable. But that's what we do because we're teachers. We are always told to do what's best for our students. That is what we do, always have done, and precisely what we're doing now, putting our students first. Thank you.
Thank you, Joanne. We appreciate you being with us today.
Thank you.
Dr. Trujillo, I'm going to put you on the spot here for just a second and ask kind of a legal question associated with this. Does TA have the ability to mandate that we go back to classroom? I know that as that's coming down, they're kind of insisting. I'm kind of a legal question there.
Well, we have students that may choose that their only option is to come face to face, and the commissioner and TEA has made it clear that that opportunity must be provided.
Must be provided.
So, okay. Yeah, must be provided. So Dr. Hill and the team, we're all continuing to explore, and I'm looking at the next week, within the next week or two, we will be getting clear communication out about what that may look like. Of course, following the guidelines that TEA and the commissioner and the health folks are putting in front of us. But also it needs to be approved by the Nacogdoches County as well. That's one thing that's going to be different than it was in the spring, is that it needs to be provided and presented not just to TEA, but also to the Nacogdoches County for approval.
Thank you for clarifying that for me, Dr. Trujillo.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to move into our review of our agenda now. And unless anyone has any concerns about the board meeting minutes from March and April, hearing none, I'm going to take us straight into consent agenda item B, business office reports. The floor is yours, Mrs. Barbarick.
Good afternoon, President Fitch, board members, Superintendent Trujillo. The first item I'd like to go over are the budget amendments, and there are actually none, but I did want to provide the report because it provides up-to-date information, but you'll notice that the proposed amendments are blank.
I don't think that that's ever happened before since I've been on the board.
Well, yeah, it does happen this time every year because we can't make amendments to last year anymore, and the current year really hasn't truly started for budget purposes. Yeah. So do you have any questions on this report?
We'll celebrate that.
Yes, absolutely.
Does bear with me here. Does this report include the breakdown of the checks and all of that? Or will you be addressing that in just a minute?
We'll go to that later.
Okay, okay, thank you.
All right, so
All right, you may continue, Mrs. Barbarick.
yes, okay, let me navigate back. I still have not learned this.
I know, right? It puts a whole new
Yeah.
level of complexity on things. Yes.
Okay. I'm so sorry. I'm a little bit lost at the moment. Okay, here we go.
Okay, now we're getting ready.
All right, the next item is gifts and donations under 2,500. And we received
I think it's page 16.
well, all right. So I think I've got it now. All right. Nettie Marshall received a donation from Kroger for school supplies, and various donations from individuals to Carpenter for a teacher retirement gift, and a donation of $329 for a water cooler for the band. You have any questions?
Yeah. Let me see here. I think I'm looking at the wrong document. Let me navigate around. Any questions, folks?
Amen.
Okay.
Hearing none, you can move forward.
The investment report. No major changes there. We are, as far as the bond fund, that is picking up more. So we have done a withdrawal of $5 million to put into our account to pay our bills, and that will become a more, that we will be doing that more often as our bond projects are increasing and paying more bills and finishing projects. Any questions on the investment report?
I just, Ms. Barber,
Yes.
when we're making those payments on your investment report, are we still getting interest on that money as we pay it? Is that still happening?
Yes, this past month we earned $32,954. So we are still doing quite well, even though the rates are very low. Would you like me to move on then?
Yes, ma'am. Please do.
Okay, next is miscellaneous business office reports, and I will take any questions you have there. So if you have questions on the check register, this would be the time.
Thank you. You're so obvious. I need that help. I just had two questions, just curious. The first one was that I noticed on June 24th and June 30th, their checks were made to Galls LLC for general supplies, and I was just curious, is that the Galls that went out of business? Did we buy some of their equipment, or is it somebody else completely?
I don't know. I don't even know who Galls is.
It was a cafe downtown.
Okay, let me look at that. I can look that up very quickly, but since I'm at my computer. This is a company out of Chicago.
Okay, the name was familiar, and I just thought, huh, did we buy kitchen equipment or something for our? Okay, and one other
Okay.
on June 4th, it's Terry Fowler, miscellaneous contracted services. What does she do?
Ms. Barbarick, if you don't mind, I can answer that. She's
That would be great.
support. She was required from TEA to work with Fredonia and Carpenter. And you will also see that she will be required to work for us again for the remaining number of hours that we weren't able to complete in the spring due to school closure of COVID.
Okay, so is she doing like teacher development or something?
She does do staff development, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
But she's here as kind of as a liaison between.
From TEA, yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. For Fredonia and Carpenter, did you say?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Hill.
Absolutely, yes, ma'am.
Does that have to do then with the grant that we received for Fredonia and Carpenter? I would put together possibly.
Yes, ma'am, as well as their continued improvement.
Any other questions? Hearing none, we will move on to items 3C,